I want to start by asking about your initial reaction last week when you found out about the arrest in this case.
Well, that was a great relief. That was a great relief, something that we've been waiting for 20 years, because I think it's something that all of us relive all the time, and, you know, missing them, and so it was a relief.
What about for you, Jackie?
It was a relief. I was very shocked. I really didn't have, I couldn't even speak, really. I'm still in shock, I think. I mean, it hasn't registered with me just yet, but I was super happy. That was my initial reaction. I was really happy.
We're in a house full of family today, and support system behind you here too. How's everybody taking this news for the past week here?
Well, it's been difficult, honestly, because I feel like and I mean, of course, we don't know anything. There has to be a trial. I feel like JB and Tracy's voices, they're not here to speak, so we have to be their voices, because I think at the end of the day, the main focus should be on the lives of the two girls we don't have here, of the two girls that can't do an interview, and so some of it's been a bit hard.
So it's been 20 years now, and you're all about to have to go through a very lengthy process of reliving this, and at some point in deep detail too. Are you all ready for this to happen? Yes.
Yes, I'm ready for the work to be done. I'm ready for the DNA. I want an end to, I mean, the whole DNA thing has been a bone of contention with me from watching interviews, because this has always been something I was interested in, but the advancements in DNA in the past decade have come amazing with just molecular science and the Human Genome Project, and, you know, things like that. So it is an exact science now, and it is this exact science that is identifying victims from 9/11. It's a science we didn't have before. Now it's this exact science that exonerates people that may have been in prison wrongfully convicted, and it's this exact science that I trust in connection with Mr. McRaney, that I think he was the last person to see her alive.
Do you think he killed JB and Tracy?
I think he was the last person to see her alive.
What about you, Dee?
I agree with Patty. I think he has to explain.
He has, yes.
He's got to explain why he was there. I mean, whether he killed them or not, he has to explain why he was there.
His DNA was at the scene, yeah.
Right, and you know, I know that there will be a team of experts. They're building a team, and I sincerely applaud that, because what we know now in mitochondrial DNA, I feel so confident in that issue that that's probably what helps me sleep at night.
You've watched press conferences now. You were there in Ozark, right, on Monday.
I wasn't, Jackie and Jabeth, yes.
But then yesterday, the Mr. McRaney's family and team of attorneys had a press conference as well in Ozark. What are you thinking as you watch that one?
I can't imagine what his children are going through.
Mm-hmm.
My son goes to school with their daughter. You know, at the end of the day, we pray for all these families. We pray for the people working this case that will bring it to justice. But I'll tell you, the thing that just honestly bugged me a lot is that Tracy Hollett's name and JB Beasley's name was never even mentioned in that interview, and I think that was disrespectful and disgusting.
And I'll say that I have a lot of sympathy for Miss McRaney and her kids. I can't imagine
Absolutely.
I cannot imagine what she's feeling, what her kids are feeling. I just know what it feels like to be on the other side.
Right.
And I have lived with that for 19 years, and that's all I can relate to. We all need answers. They need answers. We need answers. And we'll get those answers when we go to trial. And all we can do is just pray for each other. And my heart does go out to them.
And mine too.
Yeah.
She, this is not on the list here, but she mentioned when asked if she asked him if he did it, she said she didn't have to because she knew her husband better than he knows himself. When you heard that, do you think she should have asked him if he did this?
I do.
Yeah. I mean, and really, yes, probably so. But at the end of the day, I mean, it would have probably been the first question out of my mouth. You know, I would want to know because, you know, in that timeline, they knew they were not married, but they knew each other. She was probably pregnant with their first child. So yeah, I would have asked like 5 million times.
Yeah.
You all met with Ozark Police last Friday. When did they originally call you, and when they told you of what was happening, what was that like in the room?
Well, we got a call about 5:30. I was still at work, and I could just tell in Marlowe's voice that something was up. He just said, "We just need to talk to you. Get your family together. Need you to make some decisions about some stuff, and need you to get here now." So it was different. I knew something was up, just wasn't really sure. This was the last thing I expected to, for us to find out. That day, it feels like a blur to me. I mean, it was just, I was just shocked, just so shocked. I'd never lost hope, but I was starting to. I was starting to think that we would never find out. The older this case got, the less of a chance it would ever get solved. And it's just a miracle.
Well, and how old are you, 29?
Yeah, I'll be 30 this year.
So this happened, you were, what, 10 years old?
It happened on my birthday.
On your birthday. So it's been the story of your life, too, for the last 20 years, right?
Yeah.
If you had to put a message out to the community tonight, what would you want to, what do you want people at home to know? People who have followed this case from the very beginning know lots of details, but don't have a personal touch to it. What do you want to tell those folks tonight?
I just want people to have an open mind. Just have an open mind. I want people to be respectful to all three families. This is hard for everybody. It's a shock to everyone, and I just want people to have an open mind. And if you're a praying person, I want you to pray. And that's really all I have to say about that.
And there's been a lot of folks praying about this for a long time. Do you want to say anything to those people?
Well, we're so thankful for all of the people, this whole community. I mean, this whole state has embraced them, and they love them, and they want justice. And to go back to your question about anything that we wanted to know personally, JB lived with me, and she was a dancer, and she was a hardworking girl, and she was a great student, and Tracy and JB were two of the best kids I've ever known in my life. Tracy was so active in her church. She was a majorette. These were not girls that ran the streets and got in trouble. And somehow that message got out there, and they were loving, and she was a great big sister. She was a great friend of mine. We lost two individuals that would have made a huge difference in our world. And that's that's what I want everybody, when, not just pray for the answers, but remember the past. Remember who they were.
Right.
If you had a chance to talk with Mr. and Mrs. Roberts,
Oh, at
Tracy-
Daily.
Tracy's
Yeah.
Daily,
parents.
yes. Daily.
They spoke with our news crews after the press conference in Ozark, and you all opted not to that day, and totally understandable. But so there is a strong relationship between the two families.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. And, you know, and Mike and Carol, I mean, we all sort of sit in the exact same position of wanting to be the voices for Tracy and JB, and justice to be served, and answers. That, you know, I think that's it more than anything, is if we could know what happened between the phone call and their death. Why and what happened?